Good evening, it's Helen at Fever. How are we this evening? The weather's still no better than it was this morning, really. It's still quite cold, a bit wet too. So what have you been up to today? Thursday for me is very much a sort of mindset day, motivation day, just retuning into what I need to get done. Have I got things done that I wanted to at the beginning of the week? So just kind of touching base and seeing where I am, if I'm on track with things. So what about you? How's your day been? I started this morning with a bit of work on mindset and I want to kind of keep with that. And so I popped up another quote that I actually really liked that's by Mahatma Gandhi. It's quite long-winded, but I thought it was very appropriate because I think we really do need to understand that our thoughts are really the beginning of what happens with our success and how we achieve our goals. So basically the quote, if you read it down below, was saying that you need to keep your thoughts positive because those thoughts tend to become the words that you speak. And I do really think that's the case, that if you're keeping yourself upbeat and you're keeping on top of stuff, you tend to talk really, like positively. You talk happily. You're not going to use those negative words like I can't and I won't and I couldn't and I didn't. You'll be much more, yeah, of course I can, or I'll have done that by tomorrow. You'll be much more upbeat. So always a good starting place with your mindset and to keep you motivated is tune into what are your thoughts. And to be honest, probably the less thinking you do, the better it is, because quite often that negative inner critic comes in as a chat, doesn't it? So we want to keep positive thoughts because they tend to become the language we speak, the words that we use day to day. So we're talking about mindset and motivation this evening, and I'm tapping into the quote down below by Mahatma Gandhi. And then really, if your words are positive, they then kind of become your behaviour. Because how you speak, how you tend to do, because you're saying the things that you're going to do, you're much more positive about it. It all sort of filters through and feeds each other. Positive thoughts, positive way you speak, then becomes sort of the positive behaviour. Your actions start to become what you've been saying. So it's like a really kind of knock-on effect, but we've got to get those positive thoughts to start off with. And then in that quote it was saying that if you've got your positive words, positive behaviour, and then it'll become positive habits, because again, if you've sort of let that positivity get you into doing some good proactive stuff, getting your sort of hitting your targets, getting some of your goals done, then you'll find that it becomes a habit. A bit like going to the gym. If you keep that right kind of mindset, I'm going to go and do it, I need to do it, this is good for me, and then you start to do it 3 or 4 times a week and it becomes a habit. So it's really important to sort of start things off. As I said, I'll keep referring to the positive thoughts, kind of comes out in the way you speak. It becomes positive words, becomes positive behaviour, becomes habits, and then we're kind of on the road to success, aren't we? And feel free to pop anything in the comments if you've got any queries or questions, or you're interested in mindset and motivation. It fascinates me how powerful our mind and our thoughts are. And then obviously if we're starting to achieve positive habits, this kind of becomes your values. And then your values tend to lead you towards your success, towards your destiny. So it's this big process that really each step all kind of works if you're staying positive. And I know there's going to be moments when you have a few blips, but really look at why you've got the blips. Do a bit of a sort of an analysis, because this morning I was talking about limited beliefs, and that sometimes we base a lot of how we perceive things or how our expectations on what's gone on in our past. And if you're a child and you've kind of been, as any parent, just as I'm going to do for my child, we pass on our thoughts, feelings. But there comes a point when you're a bit older, you have to start thinking, is that me or is that them? And start to work out for yourself what's the, where do you want to take things, and not get held back by other people's beliefs. So very much motivation and mindset today. Let's try and get the positive thinking, because that'll help come out in the language you speak. And people love to be around people who are positive, so the more you can use your happy words, the more you can use those can and will and do words, the more everything will just kind of come your way. It's basically that law of attraction, which isn't really woo-woo. It does tend to happen. And then that will become sort of your values, and people will start to sort of sense that your values are very strong, and they are, you know, they're really focused and getting you to reach the goals that you want to achieve, whatever they may be. So don't think of goals as, oh, it's going to be that major new job. It can be little tiny goals. A goal is a goal, whatever you want to set. And then exciting, I've got my, I don't want to say balls, but yeah, I've got my balls. So these are the therapy balls that I'm going to be using in my new spinal health workshop, which I'm rolling out at the end of May at the Upminster Sanctuary. So I've got details on the page about this, but these are lovely. They're kind of squashy and very good for sort of therapeutics kind of release. I mean, it's not therapy itself, but you just place them, you know, around the back, and you use them to give your body a bit of a release of tension. So exciting. Got all of them here. So I hope you found that of use. Please feel free to share it. It would be great to try and, you know, pass on the positivity to somebody who you might feel isn't necessarily quite there at the moment. Maybe they've got those, you know, negative inner critic chatting and putting the sort of the wrong thoughts into your head. And obviously, please like and send me some hearts. It'd be nice to know you're out there. And I'll be in touch tomorrow. And obviously, I'm on Instagram if you do want to follow me there too. Viva Pilates Health Essex. See you later. Have a great evening.